Good morning, everybody. So the day has come for me to finally get out here and start to tame the disaster that is the yard. So first thing on my list is to harvest the lemons from that lemon tree. Typically the lemons are not ready to be harvested until the beginning of January, but to my absolute shock, a couple of weeks ago, keep in mind it's still December right now, so the beginning of December I came out to get an unripe lemon to discover that all my lemons had ripened and a lot of them had fallen off the tree. Now I don't know if this was because of the hurricanes, like all of the water that they absorbed, that they just ripened early, or because they're overgrown with vines and not getting enough sun. I don't know if that would affect it at all, but oh, the sun finally went behind a cloud, yay. Okay, so yeah, I don't know why they ripened earlier than any other year they have previously, but a lot of them are no good on the ground. You know, a couple weeks ago when I saw that they had ripened, I said, I'm gonna come out tomorrow and pick all my lemons. That didn't happen. That didn't happen. So, but I'm out here today and I'm gonna pick up what I can salvage from the ground, off the tree, and we're gonna get that sorted. And we're also gonna give you an update on the plumerias, the cuttings that I did a few weeks ago in my last video. They're doing great, most of them. So I'm gonna give you an update on that and let you know how that's going, and we're gonna start picking these lemons. It's so extremely like apocalyptic back here. So I'm using my stick just to make sure there's no surprises, no snakes or anything. Hopefully there's not. See, I gotta like crawl back there to get the lemon. Okay, so not too many fell off. Here, let me show you guys. Okay, so this is like our little view into the world of the lemon tree. So actually not that many fell off, like probably just the same amount as last time I was out here. So that's good. But all these guys, they're ready to go. They're ready to be picked, so let's get those. This place is like a total jungle back here, but there's tons of lemons. And it seems like a lot of them are still good, like even the ones on the ground, but there's like a ton in the tree. So I'm gonna pick the ones from the tree, at least the ones that seem like they just fall off when you touch them. And some are falling off other branches as the tree is just getting shaken. And that one's no good. Oh, they smell so good. If you've never smelled like a fresh lemon off of a tree, you're really missing something. Like it just smells like citrus flowers. It's amazing. I think I'm mostly just gonna collect the ones that are on the ground still and leave a lot of the hanging ones that don't fall. So I'm planning on coming out here and cleaning up the rest of this area and all these vines in the next few days. So harvesting these lemons will be a lot easier when I have all of like these weeds removed. So now we're gonna get all the ones on the ground that we think are at risk of falling. This test I like to do is like, if you like hit one of the lemons and it doesn't like fall off, then it's okay to leave it on the tree. But if like some of them you just like shake the branch and it just rolls right off, then it's ready to come down. Like this one fell and got stuck on a branch. You see how it's like turning brown? Like that one's no good. So ones like this I just leave on the ground, kind of return it to the earth, and it's gonna like compost down and just feed itself. So there's actually not just oh, I just got hit in the head with a lemon. There's not just one lemon tree back here, there's actually two. So there's this one on this side and this one over here. And these lemon trees actually were propagated from my grandmother's lemon tree. So she had a lemon tree on her property gosh, for probably over 20 years. And when she passed away, I went to her house before we sold it, and I took clippings. I took tons of clippings from the lemon tree, and I was able to propagate these 2 trees from that one. I also propagated like a bunch more and gave them to like family members, anyone who wanted them. But so these were propagated from my grandmother's tree, so it's the same genetics, the same lemons that I used to get from her tree. So these are really special to me. So I have these 2, and I have the other one out front. The one out front does not produce lemons like as prolifically as these, but the one out front, really, it was in kind of like, whoever lived here before us had like, you know, a very landscaped area in the front, and that's where I put it. And I just think that soil's kind of like, it's not great soil, you know, it doesn't have all the nutrients and everything that I've put into the backyard. So I think that's why it doesn't do as great. It produces, but not as prolifically as this tree back here. So I'm gonna go ahead and collect all the lemons on the ground over here, at least the good ones, from this side. This one's questionable. He's squishy, he's not brown, but he's pretty squishy. I think he'll have to be composted. Ah, the lemon has grabbed me. So fun fact, when lemon trees are stressed, they actually will get little thorns on them. So in previous years, my trees actually were very thorny. This year they didn't produce all those thorns like before, so they weren't as stressed this year, I guess. Although I feel like they should have been from all the neglect. But I'm thinking because of all the hurricanes and all the rain, they just felt like they were getting everything that they needed. So no, not as many thorns this year, which is great considering I'm like crawling under here because I haven't maintained it. So yeah, that's a good thing. It doesn't seem like too many fell off this side. These seem to still mostly be on the tree. There's just a few down here. A lot of the ones that fell on this side are really small, like kind of premature. So yeah, I don't think we lost too many from this tree. Okay, so now that I'm looking at this tree, all of the lemons on this tree are really small. They're like 1.5 inches, 2 inches. Typically, my lemons get huge. Like, I think this is like a medium-sized one. Like, you can see the difference in size, right? So this one came from the tree on my right. This one from the tree on my left here. And all of the lemons on this tree seem about the same. I have a theory as to why that might be. Like so much vines in my hair. Okay, so this tree with mostly smaller lemons, like there's 1 or 2 that are decent size, but like most of them are teeny tiny. Like I've never seen this happen before. But what also has never happened before is this tree is next to my olive tree, which it always has been. But this is the first year that my olive tree produced olives. So I'm thinking that the olive tree was sucking up a lot of the nutrition from this side, and because I didn't take care of it, I didn't add any more nutrition into the soil, the olive tree was kind of like sucking up all the nutrients, and the lemon tree wasn't getting as much, which is why this lemon tree, the lemons are so much smaller than the lemon tree next to it, which is farther away, which is not competing for nutrients. So that's just a theory, because I've never seen this happen before, but I've also never gotten olives from that tree until this year, so I find that very interesting. Okay, so I think that this is the last one, the last good one I was able to find off the ground. Very similar, but honestly does have so many bad spots. I'm just gonna let them compost back into the ground. I'm actually really surprised how many lemons stayed on the tree. Like, I still have a lot that did not fall off, so those I will be collecting over the coming days and weeks. But for now, I've got a decent amount of lemons to take back to the house. So as I trek back through my jungle, back to the house with my lemons, let's take some stock of our avocado tree here. It lost a lot of leaves. Like after the hurricanes, it was just dropping leaves like mad. So, but it seems to have stopped, hopefully, and it seems like some of the leaves are a little newer, so hopefully it will fill back out when the weather warms up again and it doesn't get quite so like drenched in rain. Avocados really, they hate like wet legs, like as in they hate it when their roots get too soaked. And all those hurricanes, like our ground was just like always wet, so it didn't like it. It seemed to have survived, but it's not as happy as it should be. Also, we've never gotten avocados from this tree yet, and this avocado tree actually was a gift from my mother-in-law. She grew it from seed, and when she gave it to us, it was like, you know, maybe like 2.5 feet tall, and now it's like bloomed and gotten huge over the last few years. So we've probably had it in the ground, I'd say 3 to 4 years by now. So no avocados yet, but I'm hopeful this coming year might give us a surprise. So yeah, I think it's doing okay. Like, cause look, see that tiny little thing at the top? It's putting on new leaves, so I think it'll be okay. It just got a little shocked from the weather. So the last thing I want to look at before we go back up to the house is the bananas. So these bananas, they're kind of small. They're starting to turn yellow. I think I want to leave them on the tree a little bit longer. They might not get much bigger just because it's been, you know, cold, and they really don't like the cold. And the flower is starting to die, which makes me think that it's not going to do much else, but there's still, you know, green in the leaves, so the actual tree has not died yet. My last banana rack, I honestly left on until like the tree had totally died. So I think I can let this go a little bit longer. If not, I'll probably cut it down early and just like use these like for green banana recipes. Okay, so let's talk about our plumeria. So we had some winners and losers. So I was actually really surprised. All of the tiny ones that I thought were gonna do good, because, you know, they were small, they didn't have much to support, they rotted and died pretty quickly. Like, they just turned to mush. Like, I thought maybe, you know, oh, maybe the larger pots had like a better soil. So I even tried like taking one of the smaller ones out and putting it in the larger pot, and it's still like, it's just mush, it's dead. But all of the larger branches that I planted, like remember our unicorn one, right? Look, we've got new growth. Yeah, so we've got new growth. That's all new. All the flowers fell off, but now we've got new growth and it has started to root. I probably need to pull all these little clovers. I'm just gonna drop them because that's like free compost right there. But yeah, so this one, again, new growth, living great. This one over here, new growth. So this one was always a stick. It doesn't have any new growth yet, but I'm gonna leave that in there longer just to see. This one hasn't done any new growth, but it's still very green, as you can see. So that one seems to be fine. So what I'm taking from this is my theory that the smaller branches were gonna do better was wrong. It seems like the thicker, more established cuttings are really what was able to survive, even though I left the flowers on them and the leaves on them. Like, they're the ones that seem to power through. So that was interesting. Now I want to show you guys this. This is my garlic. So these are all garlic cloves that I started just from store-bought garlic, and I've actually found like almost like a foolproof way to start garlic. I know it can be kind of like challenging here in Florida because we don't get like as cold as you need to like grow garlic properly, but I found like a foolproof way. This isn't garlic, these are onions. These are like little onion bulbs that I salvaged from the fridge and I'm regrowing. But like here are more garlics that I have started to sprout, but I haven't put in the ground yet. And I'm going to show you guys right now, like my foolproof way to get garlic to sprout roots so you can grow it really easily even here in Florida. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is you're going to go but get some garlic from the store. This could be, you know, grocery store, whatever. I got this garlic from Aldi. And as soon as I got it from the store, I went ahead and just stuck it into the refrigerator. So this has been in the refrigerator for about a month. And garlic needs to be like in cold weather for at least 1 to 2 months in order to properly bulb. My cat just fell off my chair. Okay, so this has been in the fridge, like I said. So now I'm taking it out of the fridge and I'm going to just break up the bulb into all these little cloves like I'm doing. You can just leave the skin on them. It doesn't need to come off or anything. And then you're going to want to grab a small jar of water. I like to keep it small because I kind of want these to be standing up. So the pointy end is going to be facing upward, and that flat kind of browned end, you're going to want to make sure that is in the water. Just going to stack them all up there. If they fall over in the water, I mean, that's okay. You can always like dump out a little of the water, or, I mean, nothing terrible is going to happen to them. So yeah, as you can see, they're all kind of just, I got that little brown end facing down and the pointy part facing up. They're going to go into the water just like that. Okay, and once you have that, you're going to take this and you're going to put it in the fridge for about a week. Let's flash forward, and here is some other garlic cloves that I did this to about a week, maybe 10 days ago. And as you can see here, they have begun to grow little roots. You see those little hairs coming off the end that was once brown? They are growing those little roots, and that's what you want. Some people just stick garlic, you know, directly into the ground, like as a dry clove. But since, you know, it doesn't really get cold enough here to like give it the full time it needs in the ground to like develop properly, I like to do this in the fridge. So it's giving it that cold environment to develop those roots and to like give it a good jump start. So now you can take these and you can plant them directly into the ground just like that. Just bury them now that they have their roots. You can put them in a pot, you could put them in the ground. If you continue to leave them in the water like I have a few times, I kind of forgot about them. They continue to grow, and you'll see that they develop what I have right here. So the garlics that you see in this video in that little pot are, I didn't have time to plant them out into the garden, obviously since I don't have a spot for them yet. So I just put a little bit of soil in the container with some water, and I put them all in like one big container. And as you can see, they started sprouting huge green stalks. So even though they weren't fully planted, they were getting the nutrients from that wet soil, and they were just continuing to like sprout up. So they need to go into the ground. The other ones I did put them into a pot once they had roots, and now we have all those beautiful green stems going on. So yeah, it's literally that easy, and using the fridge method really just gives us a jump start here in Florida. I also had some onion bulbs that I have right here, and these actually started sprouting in my fridge. That's why you see like the green ends there. They were just sprouting on their own. So I decided I'm gonna replant them, you know, like obviously they're already onions, so you know, they might get a little bit bigger, but not much else is gonna happen to them. But I can totally use those tops, and I can, you know, use those for soups and whatnot, herbs. And then also, maybe I'll even get a flower out of them so I can get some onion seeds, because onions will produce seeds eventually if they go long enough. So this was kind of just an experiment to see. I'm gonna put the, you know, the root end down in some water and let them grow more roots. Here I have an onion end that I actually cut off of an onion. I had a whole container of these, I actually did, and you know, you can save that little like onion butt that you cut off the onion, put that bottom in water and regrow the roots, and you will actually have like a new onion growing out of that scrap, which you can see right here. These I left in the water way too long, but I mean, they're still good because the roots still look fine, and obviously it's not hindering it growing at all. Okay, so I think that's it for today's video, you guys. Thanks for coming along with me while I harvested my lemons and gave you the Plumeria update. We talked a little bit about garlic, so thanks so much for watching. If you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up or subscribe if you want more tips. These smell so good. They're so distracting. They smell so good. Okay guys, I'm gonna go inside and make some lemonade, and I hope you guys have a great week.